Heyo, Stoic here. Hey, welcome to the Bedrock Guide. Today we're going to be talking about bamboo. Well, bamboo's been around for a while, but in 1.20 we're going to be able to get these planks. And that's a really big deal because we can make all kinds of other things with bamboo planks, and which is fantastic because a lot of times you have to mine all kinds of different trees in order to get chests and bookshelves and making just pretty much anything. But now we can use bamboo to do all of that, which is pretty amazing because bamboo can be easy to get, easy to harvest, and easy to store when you need it. So yeah, in this video, we're going to be talking about why you need it, where you're going to find it, and how we can make it and use it. All right, so let's talk about why you want this stuff and what you can get from, hey, where'd this panda come from? Well, yeah, sticking your tongue out at me. Yes, this panda is here just to help us show what's going on with this. But yeah, let's talk about bamboo. So it's raining, and for some reason, I can't get it to stop raining. Maybe it's an experimental feature, but hopefully it stops. But anyways, we got on a delay here. That's a little secret that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. But yeah, bamboo. Yes, bamboo can be found in jungle biomes, just like the one we're in. You can see that there's kind of a sparse jungle over here, but there's also a bamboo forest. So you can find bamboo forests on occasion. They're kind of rare, but sometimes you just need a jungle and you'll find a bamboo in there, but sometimes you can't find it. You can find bamboo from pandas too. If you're cruel enough and you eliminate these little guys, yeah, if you eliminate them, they sometimes drop some bamboo for you. You can also do some fishing in a jungle as well. So if you're in an instance where there's just no bamboo in your entire jungle, you can probably find one, but just by doing some fishing, because you'll be in a jungle biome. So that's one way to get it. You can also find it from shipwrecks, if there's a shipwreck nearby in a warm biome. And also you could find them in jungle temples. I don't think there's one nearby here. There may be one way over there, but I don't know. But anyways, you can find bamboo pretty easy. And once you get one, this stuff grows like crazy just on its own. You can see this is what's happening just with the bamboo. A lot of this was pretty low to start, but now it's pretty tall. So why is this important? And I kind of mentioned it earlier. You can get these planks right here. I'm going to stand on them right here. You can get these regular planks, and you can get these kind of specialized ones right here. They are the mosaic. Yeah, bamboo mosaic, little different setup, a little bit of a different design there, which is pretty sweet. But you can still use this bamboo to make bamboo fences, and you can make, well, you could always use bamboo to make sticks, and sticks help you make tools, and yeah, sticks can be used for a lot of stuff. But some of the other things you can use for bamboo, so you've got new stairs, mosaic stairs, doors, trap doors, make beautiful houses like the one I got back there. That one's pretty sweet looking. But you've also just got these bamboo bundles, and I think these are what the bamboo blocks. Yes, bamboo block of bamboo, and a block of stripped bamboo as well. But you can also make bamboo signs, rafts, pressure plates, and buttons. They're all kind of right here, and the signs are pretty sweet, I think. And you can also put your bamboo in a little pot. If you didn't know how to do that before, now you can. But some of the other things you can make right off the bat is you can make chests, barrels, composters, chiseled bookshelves are coming out in 1.20, ladders, because you can get sticks. You can always do that, as well as bowls now because of these planks that we can make with the bamboo. So that's pretty important moving forward. And instead of chopping down big trees, we're going to be able to get these from bamboo, which is pretty amazing. Just honestly pretty amazing. All right, so once you've got your bamboo, you can plant bamboo on sand, red sand, mycelium, podzol. This is usually just dirt. Yeah, turned into grass, but you can use it on dirt, coarse dirt, grass, gravel, rooted dirt, mud, and mangrove mudded dirt, or whatever that is. What is that? Muddy mangrove roots. Yes, all of those can help you start growing your bamboo. So you've got plenty of options here. And honestly, I love the mud just because of the color. And then the red sand's pretty sweet too, because it gives you a really cool contrast when you're doing stuff. But you can use any of those to start growing your bamboo. Now, just to let you know, this one's just really taken off, which is pretty crazy because I just planted these. But about on every 3.5 minutes, you'll see one of these bamboos just kind of go up one spot. And a lot of these are taking their time. They're going the full 3.5. But it will take a little bit of time, but they do grow pretty darn quick overall, which is great because once you get this thing going, you can get a lot of bamboo. All right, so a lot of you may or may not have seen this before, but this is pretty traditional bamboo farm right here, and you can tile this. This is just a bamboo breaker. That's what my daughter calls it. And you can, what happens is you just grow your bamboo. You let it come up until the observer sees it. So it'll grow up to, and then to a third height. And then this redstone circuit is completed. You got the observer watching for the state to change in front. And then it goes to the back to energize that block, and then the piston can push forward and it breaks out your bamboo. And now you've got it here on the floor. Usually you put a little nice cage here, and then all of it flows down into a central spot. And this has been here for a while and it just barely grows. But you can also kind of tile this as well. I've seen this from Eyecraft, where you just have like one observer and a daylight sensor. So you just let this thing grow for a long time through the day. And when it changes state, just from the daylight, in this case, we're not going to wait, but I can change that state. It will trigger the redstone, trigger the pistons, so that we're pushing all of our bamboo in here. Now, these are very, very simple to make, but they're very, very inefficient, but they are very AFKable. So as long as you're loading the chunks that these things are in, then they will work when the bamboo finally grows. And you can see we're already, some of these are already getting pretty tall, which is pretty cool. But there are some other ones too where we can put in some Bonemeal. These are pretty sweet. We'll talk about that in a little bit. We've also got two other farms here on the side and over here to show you, and I'm going to showcase those here in a little bit. All right, so first up on here is a bamboo farm by Prowl, and I modified it just a little bit just so I could compare some of the rates of a different farm that we're going to have shown here in a little bit. But we have the same, this mud area has the same area as one that's built way over there in the distance. But this one is going to utilize allays to collect all of the bamboo, and I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great idea. And if we do this, I'm going to put in, I've got a clock down here, and that's not the right spot. We'll put it right here. And we got a music box. You can sending out little songs to our allays, and I had to put these things on here. This is kind of a con that happens with these guys. But these allays are going to look for any bamboo 2D objects that are sitting around here from a previous floating machine or flying machine harvesting, and they're going to take it all the way back to our collection system right over here. So if we go ahead and turn this thing on, and this is all fully automatic. Oh, here it goes. It automatically did it. So it's going to harvest everything that's here. It might push our allays sometimes, but they're going to collect everything until they get a full inventory and toss it right in here. You can see just a ton just going in. Sometimes they pick it up and they really shouldn't. But this thing's going to make its way all the way over, and it's going to harvest everything. You can put up a little wall. I think it's a really good idea just to block some of the ones that get pushed, but these allays are all in range to go pick up all of the goodies. So I think it's a great collection system, and it really pulls everything in. So if I went ahead and did an hour-long test a couple times for this, and I averaged about 46 stacks of bamboo. You can see it's already ready to harvest, so not all of them have grown, but it will just continue to do it. So what it's doing is you've got one here, an observer over here. So once one of these has grown up, it will then go and move into the next area. So you've got some hungry pandas. You hungry? Yeah, there you go. Anyways, this farm was pretty darn easy to make. I'll have a link in the description for Prowl, and so you can build this thing. I think it's pretty neat. The only drawback to this farm is that if you do leave the area when well, I'll see if I can get this thing rolling. We'll go ahead and turn this on just to show you what's going on. So if you let this thing move, you have to load the chunks that it's in, but if I move all the way away from it, pretty far away, it's going to stop. You can see that it stopped. But if we move back in, sometimes it will not continue to move, sometimes it will. And so you'll have to kind of help it along once you get back over here. The other interesting thing too is that the allays, they get distracted. So if you're working way over here, they might fly all the way over here to pick up some bamboo, and now they're too far away from our music box, and so they won't make their way back over here. So there's no great way to contain the allays, so they might start following you around in your base. Those are kind of the only drawbacks to this farm. Otherwise, it's pretty sweet. It's just going to continue to do its own thing for a while. And yeah, I recommend this one. Again, 46 stacks per hour, and it's very passive. Just a couple of lays. They're easy to get. Prowl does an amazing job this farm, and you can have multiple ones going at the same time. Here, you want some more? Here you go. There you go, big guy. All right, here is our next one. This one is by Silentwisperer, and he has this farm. This is kind of an older one. I put in just a couple collections. He's got a lot of collectors. I put in as few as I could. In fact, I might have to put in like 2 more in order to collect all the bamboo that gets harvested at one time. That's the big drawback here, is there's a lot of rails, some collection systems here, multiple collectors happening all at the same time. But this one's pretty sweet. It's, again, a flying machine, and this thing's going to go. You just have to wait until you're ready to harvest, so you can wait a long time. This cage is as tall as the bamboo gets, so it won't get any taller than this. But you can see this thing is just rocking out. In fact, it might get a little laggy for those of you that have consoles or cards that don't work very well. It's going to send it right back to get this final row on this side. And anything that might have grown, see, we've already got stuff growing already. But you can see our carts now are going to be collecting all of these bamboos. And so I got, this is a Navy Nexus collection thing in here. But yeah, like I said, this square footage of mud is the same as the Prowl one, just to make things even, so I had to modify it just a little bit from the video. But you can see here's an example of an allay trying to come over and grab some of the stuff we're working on. So they do get away from where they're supposed to be, and guess what? I get to pick it up now, so thank you, allay. So let's talk rates on this farm. So this one got us about 46 stacks as well. So this lets things grow as high as it can. So I let things grow for an hour, and then I harvest it. So comparatively, they're the exact same amount. Honestly, you're going to spend a lot more on resources to build this one, because we got this big cage. We got a ton of collection that has to happen, but you get to control when it happens. So you can come over, and looks like they're trying to throw some at me a little bit earlier, and you got to put up a little guard. Sometimes you got to do a little collection as well on the outside, because it will grab some other things. You might be able to do some shielding. I think he mentioned some shielding. I didn't do it just because I wanted to have a good example, but when I did collect everything, I grabbed everything I could for this farm. But overall, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, the fact that it's a big cage, you can have multiple ones of these. I don't recommend running all at the same time. Just the number of 2D items could pose a problem for your console, just because there's still a lot floating in there, and this will catch pretty much everything in 5 minutes. And yeah, we're getting a lot. It's unloading. It's not a super fast unloader, but yeah, I have multiple unloaders here. Anyways, I'm rambling a little bit. Great farm. I think it's great from a passive. You get to control when it goes. You still get a lot, and yeah, these allays. Like I said, that's the con from the pod. For the Prowl one, is that these allays will jump around if they see something in range of where they want to be. But anyways, this I think is a fantastic farm. Build it if you want. I'll have a link in the description, and check it out. All right, I went ahead and tied up our allays because they do get away, and I turned off the clicker or the music box because it does get kind of annoying. But yeah, anyways, let's come back over here. We got our panda. Let's feed your panda. Well, no hearts for me today, but you are hungry, aren't you? So we do have this final farm that I wanted to showcase a little bit here. And this is a bamboo breaker, and it's got lots of bone meal being fed into a dispenser. So every bone meal that you use will get you a bamboo. So you're really converting one bone meal into one bamboo. So this is not a self-sustaining farm. If you want self-sustaining, you got to find a moss farm. I think that's like one of the best ones. I made a flower farm that barely nets positive, but you don't want to do that because that's a lot of work. But anyways, what you can do here is you can throw in your bamboo here in the back, and it will load into the dispenser down here, right there. And what we can do is just throw in a clock, and this thing is going to grow our bamboo. It's going to throw it down here and see. Our panda's going to eat some of the ones that spill out. Sometimes they spill out. It's just what happens. And we just start collecting. So we have lots and lots of bamboo now from this farm, and then you can use that to build a lot of the fun structures that we've got from now on. So this farm is fantastic because in 25 minutes I was able to get 46 stacks. So for every bamboo, or for every bone meal I put in, I got a bamboo out of it. So in 1 hour, no, actually in 25 minutes I got the same amount as this farm after an hour. So this is just going to shell it out. And this is only 2. This is only 2 spots. And you can make this as long as you want because we're running off of 1 clock. But the downside to it is that you're going to need to have lots and lots of bone meal to make that work. But it's very small. You can get as much as you want or as little as you want. And this farm is just fantastic. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and build this for you, and you can see how it works. All right, time for the tutorial, and we're going to go ahead and put in some storage. And over time, you're going to want to really expand this, which is pretty easy. Just put a hopper underneath, and you can start collecting a whole bunch more. There's no real sorting system that you need because it's just bamboo. So we'll go ahead and do that. And for this, I'm just going to build a two wide one. Going to go and throw in some hoppers and then some rails over top. And what I'll do now is just grab something to block each side. And we'll put this in here just so our rail cards don't go anywhere. And in fact, yeah, we do want to capture these things through a piece of dirt. And then in this case, sand, it would be great, but we're not going to be able to use sand because I just love the mud and the sand here. We're going to put mud here. You can use dirt, grass, whatever you want. So far our farm is looking just like this. From here, we're going to go to the back side of our farm and grab a target block, put it right next to our mud or dirt, whatever you're going to be using. And from up above here, we're going to stand on top of our mud, and kind of off to the sides, we're dispensing on top of the mud. So this is where our bone meal will pump onto our bamboo. We're going to place our piston on top of that so we can break it. And shift click. Am I too close? Too close. Let's try that right there. That's looking pretty good. So that's basically our redstone blocks right there that we're going to be putting in. So now we're going to just get in a clock, little guard, and we're going to be set. All right, to make sure that we can get easy bone meal to our dispensers, we're going to have a couple little hoppers on the back side here. And then we'll just use mud right here if you want, dirt, stone, whatever you'd like to use right on top of that. So we're going to need to get some redstone over to our pistons. Now from here, we can easily, from the backside, use shulkers or any other unloading system to put our bamboo or our bone meal into it. Keep messing that up. Or maybe you've got a source that can just feed right into it, and then you're really, really good shape there. All right, from here, we're going to come underneath, and we're going to put in some glass. 1, 2, 3, 4, just like this. These can be temporary, but it's always nice to contain as much as we can. Come out one more, and then this is where we're going to kind of ladder up into the clock that we're going to be making. So we can come over here, put another one in. So we got those temporary ones, so kind of going at an angle. And then from here, we're really close to being finished, quite frankly. Put another one in that location. So now we can get ready to put in our observer clock. So the redstone dust is going to come along the back side and see how it connects to our target blocks. We're going to come up through here. You can see that it can go through glass and all the way across. And this is what's going to allow our pistons to shoot off as well. All right, you can see our redstone dust is in place. Come over to this side. We're going to put in a temporary block in this location. And we're going to go ahead and put another one in on top of it. Oop, I fell. Put it right on top there. You can grab a observer, and now we're going to look down just like that. So the arrow is pointing up. This is our upper one. From here, we can break this temporary block and put in another observer facing this way. You can see that the dot is now facing down towards our redstone dust. So now we've got a clock that's separated. What we want to do now is go ahead and put in a piston. So from above, grab your 2 temporary blocks. We're going to break one of them, get underneath here, and make sure your sticky piston now is facing down. From here, we can put in a lever on top or on the side of it. We can extend it, and it will turn on all of our redstone. You can hear the click, click, clicking of our dispensers. We don't have any bone meal in there, but you can see it is working. When you're ready to turn it off, hit that switch, and it will turn your clock off. So this looks pretty tall, but you can put your clock over to the side if you wanted to. Just make sure you've got your redstone that makes its way up top here. All right, so now we're ready to load things up. We can put a little bit of bone meal over here. That'll make its way into our dispenser. Put it on the back side there. So that's going to fill up. The other thing we want to do is really contain our bamboo. So make sure you got plenty of space up above it so you can place blocks on top of your pistons. And then you can come down over on the side all the way down. And then make sure you're putting it right here in front of your whole thing here, your whole farm. And yep, just like that. And you can see inside, what we need to do first though is actually put in some bamboo. So all of that is in there. We saw that our dispensers are now full with the bone meal we put in. We're going to contain this, and now just turn it on, and it's going to start to grow. And we're going to start collecting all these goodies. Here they come. This is our farm. Now, if you want to make this thing bigger, you just kind of slice one spot of it, and you just start making it further and further down the row. Remember, you can only make it so long because our redstone dust can only go 15 in each direction. So you could put in, we'll start 1, 2, 3, 4, and then another 11 in that direction. So that's pretty sweet. You can have 13 of these pistons going, but again, already out of bone meal. It uses it pretty quick, but we also converted all that into 64 bamboo because we only put in 64 bone meal, and it actually grew one on its own. So it will grow on its own when it is working. So yeah, this farm is just going to cook. It is going to make things go super fast for you when you're ready to get it, and you can use it to make all the barrels, all of the good stuff that's come out for bamboo: chests, barrels, bookshelves, parts of bookshelves, chisel bookshelves, composters, ladders, bowls, pistons. You can use it for pistons, anything that you would use planks for to make your farm. So, all right, thanks everyone for joining me on the Bedrock Guide. We made this farm, and this is what I recommend going forward. It's pretty easy to make, and yeah, I think it's petite, it's small, and it's going to be what you need. But again, if you don't want to do that, you want to keep it simple. There are farms, just observer piston farms that can work. You can have daylight sensors as well. You can have big fields of bamboo and harvest them with the lathes. Prowl's farm is just amazing. And link in the description. It's Silence, big farm back there. This floating machine, I think that's awesome as well. But we talked about why you're going to need it, how to find it, how to grow it, and some farms that are available. So please consider subscribing if you liked what you saw. Hit that like button as well. Leave some comments. And I'm going to feed this panda right here. You gotta come here, panda. Want some? Yeah, here you go. Good panda. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you on the next Bedrock Guide. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.